The engine screamed again, loud enough to rattle the deck plating under his boots. Jace Rourke muttered something unrepeatable and ducked under the belly of the freighter Hearthrunner, wrench in hand and oil already smeared across his cheek. He was the last certified mechanic left in Docking Bay 9, the forgotten corner of the sprawling orbital station that served as a crossroad between half the known sectors. "Hold together, girl," he whispered to the ship as if it could hear him. "Just one more run, that's all I ask." The freighter's grav couplings hummed erratically. One more overload and the captain would be out a fortune. Jace shoved his wrench into the locking nut and cranked until the whine leveled into a steady purr. He exhaled, sitting back on his haunches. That's when a shadow fell across him. "Excuse me," came a voice. Smooth, melodic, strangely accented. He rolled out from under the ship, squinting up at a tall figure. She wasn't human, that much was obvious. Her skin shimmered faintly, almost pearlescent, shifting hues under the bay lights. Her eyes were too large, crystalline silver, and her posture carried a weight of discipline. She wore a cloak of deep violet, edged with filigree that looked absurdly expensive for Docking Bay 9. Jace stood, wiping his hands on a rag. "You lost, lady." "I am searching for someone," she replied carefully, as though every word was chosen. "A technician, one who can repair damaged vessels with unusual efficiency." Jace snorted. "Congratulations, you found him. I'm the only one here who still works for beer credits instead of imperial coin. What's your problem?" The woman studied him, head tilted ever so slightly. Then, unexpectedly, she raised her hand, fist closed, waiting. Without thinking, Jace grinned and knocked his own knuckles against hers. First bump. That's how humans seal a deal. For the first time, the woman's expression flickered into something warmer. Amusement. Gratitude. Maybe both. "I see," she murmured. "Then we have sealed it." Job. The vessel she led him to wasn't just damaged. It was a star yacht, sleek and lined with armor plating that made the Hearthrunner look like a pile of scrap. Its hull bore no insignia, no registry code, which was unusual. Inside, the ship was an oasis of luxury. Plush corridors, soft lighting panels, a bridge with more advanced tech than Jace had ever seen outside of military fleets. "What the hell happened here?" he muttered, examining a scorched power relay. "This thing's been hit with disruptor fire. Who's shooting at you, miss?" She hesitated before answering. "Lysera." No surname, no clan designation, no planetary sigil. Just Lysera. "Well, Lysera, someone's gunning for you, and from the look of this, they weren't cheap bounty hunters. I can fix it, but it'll take time. And..." He glanced at her expensive cloak again. "This won't be cheap." "I will compensate you adequately," she said, voice calm but firm. So he worked. Hours passed as he crawled through conduits, welding fractures, rerouting energy. He hummed old Earth tunes while she watched, sometimes asking curious questions about why humans used wrenches when molecular welders existed. He explained that sometimes simple tools work best. She listened intently, as though every mundane answer mattered. When the last coupling locked into place and the yacht purred back to life, Jace wiped sweat from his brow. "There. She'll fly like new." "You're welcome." He expected her to leave, maybe toss him a handful of credits. Instead, she stepped closer, those luminous eyes locking onto his. "You treated me as if I were ordinary," she said quietly. Jace raised a brow. "Should I have bowed or something?" "Yes," she whispered. "Most would have." Revelation. Jace didn't hear the news until the next cycle. The station's info feeds blared across every cantina, holoscreen, and docking corridor. Coronation on Zyril Prime. Ly Saravatar ascends to imperial throne. New queen of the Galactic Dominion. Jace nearly spat out his coffee. The image on screen was unmistakable. Her pearlescent skin, her violet cloak, those silver eyes. He remembered fist-bumping her. "Oh hell," he muttered. Within hours, Docking Bay 9 was swarmed. Dominion guards in ceremonial armor stormed in, their banners unfurled. They weren't just here for pomp, they were here for him. "Human mechanic Jace Rourke," one announced, voice booming. "By decree of Queen Lysra Veldar, you are summoned to the Imperial Palace. Refusal is not an option." Jace blinked. She's serious. Palace. The palace on Zyril Prime was like nothing Jace had ever seen. A city of spires and shimmering crystal towers floating above a sea of clouds. He was escorted through vaulted halls where alien nobles whispered behind jeweled masks, sneering at the human grease monkey tracking oil across their rugs. At last, he was brought before the throne room. There she was, Lysra, now wearing a crown that radiated light, her cloak replaced by ceremonial armor plated with gold and silver. Yet her expression softened the instant she saw him. "Leave us," she commanded her court. Reluctantly they obeyed. When they were alone, she descended the steps. "You came." "I didn't have much of a choice," Jace said dryly. "You're a queen now, huh? Should I kneel or something?" Her lips curved slightly. "No. I asked you here because you did not kneel. You treated me with respect but not fear. You touched me as if I were a comrade, not an untouchable sovereign. That is rare." Jace rubbed the back of his neck, suddenly aware of the grime on his jumpsuit. "Yeah, well, I didn't know I was fist-bumping royalty. If I had, I probably wouldn't have dared. And that," she said softly, "is why I value it. The conflict." But not everyone approved. Within days, whispers spread. The queen had summoned a human mechanic. Nobles accused him of corrupting her. Counselors demanded his removal from the palace. One night, Lysra confided in him over a quiet meal in the gardens. "They doubt me," she admitted. "They say my ascent is fragile, that I must prove my bloodline's dominance. But all I see is arrogance and fear." Jace frowned. "Sounds like politics. They don't hate you, they just hate that you're not them." "Perhaps. But my throne is not secure. Already factions stir." That prediction proved true when an assassination attempt came only 3 nights later. Jace was in the workshop, tinkering with an old grav bike the palace guards had discarded, when he noticed a shadow moving across the rafters. Instinct, not training, made him shout, "Lysra, duck!" A plasma bolt scorched past her head. Guards scrambled, but Jace was faster, grabbing a drop tool and hurling it with mechanic's precision. The wrench struck the assassin's disruptor, knocking it wide. In the chaos, guards overwhelmed the attacker. When it was over, Lysra looked at him with something beyond gratitude. "You saved me," she whispered. "Guess that first bump meant something after all," Jace said. Resolution. The next council meeting was different. Lysra strode into the chamber with Jace at her side, grease stains and all. Nobles gasped, whispered, glared. "My people," Lysra began, her voice echoing through the hall. "You question my legitimacy. You doubt my strength. But strength is not isolation. Strength is trust. This human mechanic treated me as one of his own. He risked himself to protect me, not because of duty but because of choice." She reached out and clasped Jace's hand, lifting it for all to see.